Okay, my speech topic was going to be about something else, but because of lack of information and lack of photos, and I had like lots of ideas about that topic, so I'm just going to do that later. And because you guys liked the black hole stuff last week, so last week, so I am going to do about solar systems, our solar system. Okay, our solar system contains the sun, first of all, which is in the center, or at the start, and then it's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and then there's this asteroid belt, which has like small stones, like it's just like a belt, circular belt, and then it's Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Neptune. And I'll start off with Sun. Well, Sun's mass, so the weight, is 332,900 times of Earth. 332,900 times on Earth, times of Earth, and it's just really big. I'm just trying to show you. This is just a picture how it looks like. This is Jupiter, and the small dot is Earth compared to the Sun's size. It's really big, and Sun is a star, like different to all the other planets. Planets are, different to stars. The star is just this big fireball, huge fireball, massive fireball. It's really hot in the outside. It's a few thousand degrees on the outside. In the inside, it's about a few, like 10,000, 100,000, maybe a million degrees. I don't know. And then it's Mercury. Mercury. Let me see. Right? I'll just get you a picture of Mercury. Okay. Mercury is very small. Actually, it's really, really small. Compared to the Earth's weight, it's 0.055%, like times of Earth. So which means the weight of Mercury is 5.5% of Earth. So if Earth is 100 kilograms, Mercury is 5.5 kilograms. It's relatively very light and really small, and it's just a normal planet which has like an iron core like Earth. We have this, like, you might have heard about this, like there's like melted iron and metal in the middle of Earth. You know about that. Some people will do. So it's just like that, except it's really close to the sun, so it's very hot. It has an atmosphere just like we have, like, and there's like oxygen and those stuff. But it's just really hot, so no life can just live in that. And there's no satellites. What I mean by satellites, it's not those like solar. It's like it has wings that just turns around and like astronauts working on it. Satellites, I mean by these small asteroids that orbit around the planet. So it's, for example, Moon is an Earth satellite, but Mercury doesn't have any satellites at all. And next is Venus. This is how it actually looks like. Color. Yeah, it has color. It's just like this white gas ball. It's a cloud. It's just like covered with a cloud. Venus, I think it's kind of cool because some scientists say humans lived in Venus but then ran away to Earth, because Venus, if it was less hot, humans might be able to live in there. Venus is very hot because of the greenhouse gases, and greenhouse gases are one of the causing problems of global warming on Earth as well. So some scientists say in the past humans lived in Venus, but because of these like greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and those bad gases, the humans ran away from Venus to Earth, and they lost lots of technology stuff, and they started off as like, just like savages on Earth. So that's just one of the theories how like people started living on Earth. And Venus is a little smaller than Earth, 81.5% mass compared to Earth, and has no satellites at all. So relatively similar, except it's just really hot, 400 degrees, like in the atmosphere. Like now it's about like 9 or 10 or 11 degrees in Earth. It's like 400, at least 400 degrees. And Earth, I don't have a photo because everybody will know how Earth will look like. And just a little fact, Earth is over 70% of Earth is water. So if you take photos, if you see photos of Earth, it might be just like we'll see only. You might see only blue and white. White is the cloud. It's really actually hard to find land. It's like more water because of global warming and those stuff. And Earth is the only place where life exists, like for now. We don't really know much more. And Mars. This is how Mars looks like, and Mars is actually quite amazingly very light compared to Earth. 10% of Earth. 10%. So if Earth is 10 kgs, Mars is 1 kg. It's like that light. But the size is quite similar. And Mars looks red because of the rust. Like in the soil in Mars, there's like rust everywhere. It's called iron oxide. So that's, you know, rust, it's like kind of browny, orangey, dark red kind of. Yeah, and they have it in soil in Mars. So that's why it looks red, and it just somehow reminds me of like the moon, because it just kind of looks like moon. There's like, it's like holes everywhere. And just scientists and astronauts say like humans might be able to go on Mars one day and like live there. It's another possibility, or maybe Venus, maybe Jupiter. Oh, and before going on to Jupiter, there's this asteroid belt. So if there's a sun in the middle, and then it's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and then there's this asteroid belt. It's just these heaps of rocks and icicles and these random other stuff. They just go around. It's like a belt. It's very dangerous, of course. Yeah, and after you go out of the asteroid belt, if you go out really far away, there's Jupiter. Jupiter is very big. It's really big. 318 times of the mass compared to Earth. It's really big, and it has 66 satellites. So it has like 66 moons. So just say. And there's this thing called Great Red Spot. And there's also a great dark spot, which I'll tell you later. Great red spot is this thing. It's just this great red spot. It's a cloud. It's a cloud. We don't know what it is. It's just this like gas cloud, and it's just there, and it's not going away. It's just still there. And I'll just show you the size comparison. This is the great red spot. And this is Earth. And Great Red Spot is bigger than Earth, just a spot. So Jupiter, we can see it's quite big, and we just saw the first picture of Jupiter compared to Sun, so you can see how really big Sun is. So yeah, that's basically it with Jupiter. 66 satellites, just saying. And also Saturn. Saturn is...
Question. You know how you said asteroid belt is really big?
Question in the end.
Okay.
Okay. Saturn is 95 times of the Earth's mass. It's not that much, well, compared to Jupiter, but Saturn is really like teeny bit small compared to Jupiter. Like if Jupiter is like this big, Saturn's gonna be about this big, but because of the ring, Saturn looks bigger than Jupiter. Oh, and by the way, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, they're called outer solar system planets, and they all have rings. Uranus and Neptune has rings as well. Jupiter has rings, a really thin ring, but Saturn's one is the best. Like we can see it like really clearly from everywhere. And it's just these icicles and stones, and it's also gases, and it just makes these colorful kind of band around the actual planet. And oh, I forgot to say, Jupiter and Saturn is a gas giant, which means there's just like it's just full of gas. The atmosphere is just full of gas. Like it's all dense. It's like all humid. Should I say, with gas. And on the internet, you can find really pretty pictures of the ring. It's like there's sometimes rainbow colors. Uranus, and people think that Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, those planets are really small compared to Earth because they don't really tell you the size of that. Uranus is 14 times bigger than Earth, the mass, 14 times. I was quite surprised by this. And Uranus and Neptune, they're the two planets that actually has like a changing kind of weather style. Like for example, Venus is always hot and it doesn't rain and those stuff, but Neptune and Uranus, they like rain and it's really cold, by the way, because it's really far away from the sun. The sunlight doesn't really, help getting warmer. It's just like full of cloud as well, covered with cloud, and it's like raining, hailing every day, mostly, in Uranus and Neptune. So that's Uranus, and Neptune is kind of similar. Neptune is more of a dark bluey-ish. This is Neptune, also similar to, Uranus. This is the great dark spot, which is also bigger than Earth. Bigger than Earth. Can you see the dark spot? It's like really, really faint. So this is bigger than Earth, so you can see how big Neptune actually is. Uranus is bigger than Neptune. Neptune is Neptune is a little bit bigger than Uranus. Neptune is 17 times bigger than, 17 times bigger than Earth. And also this one has 13 satellites, like 13 moons. And Uranus has 27 satellites. And how Saturn and Jupiter has like over 60 satellites, and it's because if a planet or a star is like really heavy, like the gravitational force is very strong. And how Moon became our satellite is, for example, Earth was just Earth, there was no Moon, and this asteroid passing by gets hauled by the Earth's gravitational force. So it's supposed to just go past the asteroid, but the Earth's gravitational force just catches the Moon when it's going. And it's just suddenly she just keep going like this. So that happened like a few billion years ago, a few billions and billions of years ago, and now it's just our Moon. And Jupiter is, you can see, it's like really big, so it has much greater gravitational force. So I think this is why asteroids try to go past, they just become satellites of Jupiter. They just keep going around and around Jupiter. Imagine having 66 moons on Earth. So there's like 32 in the morning and like 33 at night or something. And you don't need like a lamppost or anything like that. Like the 32, and it's like 32 on the other side of the Earth. And so that's basically it. And I just learned a lot about space while I was planning all the space stuff, also black holes and stuff. It might not be fun as the black hole speech that I did, but well, I tried at least. So thank you for listening.